Business Convos and Coffee. And I have a special guest for you guys here. And okay, I'm going to leave my screen up while I go through this intro and do this rundown because today is a very, very, very special day. Okay. I am getting business banker secrets from a former business banker, a respected friend of mine who she's no longer there, but look, let me give this rundown. So why banks, right? Deny loans to entrepreneurs. That is what we're going to cover today, live and in charge here, right? I'm giving you entrepreneur bank loan secrets, okay? I want to leave this up for a second, right here. Let's keep it right here. Entrepreneur bank loan insider secrets. Why banks deny loans to entrepreneurs. Why entrepreneurs get denied and get these bank insider secrets from a former business banker. In this episode, we will share our stories of two entrepreneurs that got a bank loan. The bank said yes on, okay? And we're going to share their stories from the both of us. Can we please keep the thing up? I don't know what we're doing, guys, in production. Thank you. All right. I want to go through this because I want to get this up because we're live here. And so, all right. So do you guys want to know the bank secrets about lending to entrepreneurs? The bank red flags, habits that restrict access to bank financing, how to be loved by the bank. Which banks to use? All right, I got my girl here, Lakeisha Johnson. Okay, my friend. All right, she is a former business banker and wealthier. Okay, let me do this right. Lakeisha is an expert business banker. She has elevated in her career from working in the branch of a top bank as a business banker to another large financial institution, helping the wealthy manage their assets like stocks. She is an executive relationship manager, managing stocks for wealth producers. She is a longtime friend of mine. My Uncle Tyrone introduced us, all right, in 2009. I know I got all this going on, y'all. I got all this going on. She's a small business banker from small business banker to small business CPA was our introduction. Lakeisha invited me to do my first entrepreneur series on this getting bank topic. I called it You're Approved. The 7 things you must have as an entrepreneur to get the bank to say that you're approved. All right. After this, let me look at y'all for a second because I know I'd be fussing. Okay, let me look at y'all for a second. Grab your drinks. You believe you could get banked, then you want to be here to get these secrets because I believe that you could get banked too. So some housekeeping here is don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to go and watch the replay because these nuggets are about to be good. They're going to be at our website, eXFinancialCPA.com. Talk to us in the comments. We'll be here to answer your questions right after this short introduction. Hey, Lakeisha. Let me get Lakeisha out here. Can you hear me? Say something, Lakeisha.
I can hear you.
Look, y'all don't know. I think the devil was trying to have us not to talk on this topic today, okay? We were about to give up, but we refuse to give up, okay? Because this topic is too important for small business owners.
It is.
Lakeisha, say hey.
Hey.
Tell the people a little bit about yourself. I know I've already kind of touted you up a little bit.
I see. You gave me a great introduction. Overall, I've just been in financial services for like 23 years, and I've done everything in the retail bank. I've helped small business owners from the beginning all the way to getting a loan and getting them approved, and definitely with help with partners like you, Spiceda. So right now I am helping more of the ultra rich and ultra wealthy, which is just same type of principles. It's just a different added zero to the numbers. That's all.
Exactly. And so I want my entrepreneurs to develop wealthy habits. And I said
Mhm.
wealthy
Mhm.
habits, so that they can come and see you. I got to grow up a little bit more before I come and see you now, but I'm working hard to get there, my friend. So the reason why I had you here is because my journey into entrepreneurship truly started with you as a private certified private accountant, because I had left the CPA firm, started my own firm. And so I don't consider myself, I don't refer to myself as a public accountant. I'm a CPA, but I'm a certified private accountant. And I focus on working with entrepreneurs to get finance. To get fine. I want them to get finance. And we have a fit system that help them have all the stuff that you and I used to have to put together for them to get the
Yes.
bank to say yes. So I'm going to jump right into it because we got to get in and get out, and you got to get to your wealthy clients because we both have a day ahead of us. So, our story starts. So I'm going to talk about person A and person B,
Mhm.
right? And so just think, first we're going to talk about the wealth producer, okay? And in the wealth producer, this guy came into your bank, or girl. This girl came into your bank like me, but this story isn't about me. This story is about a client we know. Coming to the bank, trying to get a loan, got really good income. They have a great W-2, making over $300,000 a year, and they are in the process of trying to buy a commercial building.
Mhm.
That was basically 300,000. It was exactly what they made for a year.
Right.
But the bank said no, right? The underwriter was like, get this out of here. Do you remember that story? Because it was so long ago.
I
This
do.
was like about 14 years ago. Do you
I
remember
know.
that story?
I do remember. I
What do
do
you
remember.
remember about it?
Well, what I remember is that it started off not good, and we had to rely on you for your advice and guidance with just tax preparation, making sure those tax returns look good, making sure you're just not trying to get a big refund, understanding the importance of showing the income that you did actually receive and paying those taxes. And then, once revising that, seeing that this professional was able to then get a loan to fulfill his goal.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that one, Lakeisha, I will tell you, I worked hard.
I
So
I, I know.
do y'all want to know what we actually did to get this? Like, this is a professional that is making like darn near $500,000 a year. The building that they're getting is darn near $500,000 a year, equal to 1 year's salary. Typically, in a bank loan situation, they'll give you a residential home for about a third of your salary. I mean, literally, he had 100%. That he made a year, and professional, but not using the right person to do his taxes. And he actually, I believe, was using a credentialed person, um,
Hmm.
but they just weren't familiar with entrepreneurs. And
Right.
so I oftentimes feel like CPAs get a bad rap when people go to either the wrong CPA or they're not even with a CPA.
Right.
And so I think that the key here is making sure that you work with an expert, because there are things on your tax return that,
Hmm.
even though you have this big, $300,000 to $500,000 of income from your W-2,
Hmm.
well, you can get disqualified for the loan because the taxes just don't look right. And I
Right.
think that's what happened in this person's situation. They
Yep.
actually had income on the wrong schedule. So the person had the income just all over the place. And long story short, that tax return actually got audited because we ended up amending the return,
Yep.
getting it right, getting the underwriter to approve it. But then I later had to deal with saving him thousands and thousands in an audit, but it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Hmm.
So okay, so the lesson here is, and the moral of this story is, to hire an expert entrepreneur,
Hmm.
accounting advisor
Yep.
to do your taxes. Okay,
Yes.
stop going to these tax places. Stop letting your cousin do your taxes. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to be loved by the bank and you want to be bank fine, okay, then make sure that your tax return is professionally prepared. And just because you have losses, it does not mean that you're going to be losing a lot. That doesn't mean that you're not cash flowing. Right. So Lakeisha, tell me, like my experience has been sometimes you can have a loss on your return, but the bank knows that it's not truly a loss and you can afford the loan. What does that look like?
Well, in cases like that, I mean, that might be just like a one-off. They really would like for the losses. I would limit the losses. I would definitely work with a CPA like yourself just to let you know exactly what they're trying to do within the next year. If they were to do that ahead of time, it would save a lot of stress and trying to like chase your tail and try to get things taken care of on the back end. If they would let you know in advance, hey, Spiceda, I'm going to get this loan for whatever, this house, this commercial business, this commercial truck, or whatever. If they let you know on the front end, you will save them a lot of that heartache. They really do want to see you cash flow. If if you don't have enough to cash flow on your taxes, that is what they're really going to use. They're really going to use that. And I know it's not really answering your question because the goal is to get it before they get the cash flow to be zero or negative. The goal is to get the cash flow in the positive so that you won't even have to worry about it. The goal is to say, hey, I have 12 months of that loan payment, and you can see that in this cash flow because I have $12,000 of income that has not been written off, and pay those taxes. That is the goal. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no. You actually touched on the exact point that I always make with my entrepreneurs. Ask for money when you don't need it. So you made a good point there where you were like, well, it's good to ask for the money before your account goes negative or before your account goes zero. Nobody wants to lend money to their broke cousin. But because, I mean, right. you got to show the bank a pathway for them getting their money back to show that, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to put some of your money at risk, but it's going to come back at least with enough money to pay you back. Even if I don't make any money off of it, there's enough money there to pay you back.
Right. And that's exactly what they're looking for. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, and I think that is really when you're working with a bank that understands entrepreneurs, which is one of my biggest things, is making sure that number one, you hit the point, borrow the money, get the credit card, establish the line of credit when you don't need it, right? It should be a cushion, but because you're going to use other people's money. I have entrepreneurs sometimes, they'll have a lot of money that they've made that month, and they will actually use their money as
collateral.
They'll use their money to like grow, right? They'll put their money in the ground, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll say, okay, I'm going to invest it in this and come back. So this week, my pastor, and this is the best way to explain it. There's bread and there's seed, right? Money can be bread or money can be seed. When it's bread, you eat it and it only comes out as waste. When it's seed, you plant it in the ground and you'll see it again. When you eat it, it comes out as waste and you never see it again, right? True. So in this instance, when using OPM, right, and I call it OPM, other people's money, I think that entrepreneurs should first use other people's money as seed. Okay? Plant their money and have the interest from their money service the debt, which is a note, right? And you take the rest to grow. Now you might need some as bread, but like you might need to use some, right? Payroll, things of that nature. But your revenue should be covering that.
Right.
You borrow money to grow. You don't borrow money to eat.
Right.
It's like using your credit card to go grocery shopping every week, but you don't have a job. Eventually, you're going to max out. You're never going to be able to pay off that credit card, and you're going to be stuck like Chuck,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that is what I'm saying. You got to use your income as seed and not bread, right? You don't go grocery shopping on your credit card, meaning you don't feed your business on your credit card, right? You feed your business on your sales and your revenue. All right.
Mhm.
And so, Lakeisha, you hit on a great point there, right? And so banks like sales.
Yes.
Banks
They
like
love
revenue.
sales. Yes. They love sales.
So like and so my point in saying this to you, even with the business losses, is focus on your number at the top and work with your accountant to make sure the numbers that get you to the bottom are properly sequenced, properly recorded, properly classified, properly accounted for, so you can get finance. If you're not doing it right, you're out of shape. Your financials are out of shape, and get it right. All right. So anything else on that topic? Because I cannot wait to talk about the entrepreneur hustler.
Well, knowing your numbers, that is really important, and making sure that you're partnering with someone. If you don't know your numbers, then you partner with someone like you so that you can help them understand their numbers, where it can at least lead a path for the following year. If you can't do it that particular year, it'll at least put you on a good build a great foundation for the next year.
Correct. Yay. So, all right. So, I'm trying to see what we're doing here. So okay. So what I want to talk about now is knowing your numbers. Your numbers can tell you whether you're going to get finance for the bank. So, what made you? We talk about person B, right? They didn't really have their numbers yet.
Right.
Like the hustling entrepreneur. Most
Right.
entrepreneurs aren't really paying attention to
Mhm.
numbers. They're focusing on the numbers at the top, but they're not doing accounting. So they may walk into the bank and say, I know I'm making $300,000, right? Or let's say $100,000. Let's just keep
Yes.
it easy now. I'm making
Yes.
$100,000. I should qualify for a $10,000 loan, right?
Well, a lot of times they come in saying, I make $100,000 and I should qualify for $100,000 loan. But it's good that you said 10,000 because that's actually being reasonable. A lot of times we ran into people that said, hey, I make $100,000. I have, $100,000 that has come through my hands, that's gone through the bank. If it doesn't stay at the bank, it really doesn't count. So
Right. So wait a
that
minute, say that again. If you make $100,000 and it doesn't stay at the bank, right?
right. Mhm.
So wait a minute. So that's saying you borrowed it.
Well, this is saying, hey, I've had over $100,000 come through your bank. You should give me $100,000 loan because you can see that I have over $100,000. And when people say, oh, it's running through your bank, if it doesn't stay at the bank, it's like it didn't happen. It's like they're not looking at your accounts to see exactly what has gone through the account. They're looking at the accounts and saying what's staying in the account. So if you know that you're going to try to go for a loan, then try to make sure that your balances get up there. Try to at least leave 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, depending on the loan. Because if you can take care of that seed that's in there of 2,500, 5,000, or 10,000, the bank is more apt to saying, okay, I think that you'll be able to, do this $20,000 loan or $25,000 loan.
Now let me ask you this. Do you recommend that entrepreneurs have a savings account, or like, because it sounds like, because you're going to have your operating account, that's where you're going to pay all your bills.
Absolutely.
And then,
Absolutely.
so what accounts do you recommend, or did you recommend as a business banker, and that you now recommend?
Well, I mean, what I recommended as a banker was an operating account and a reserve account. Operating account was your checking account, that's for daily expenses, gas, payroll, utilities, anything, paying for supplies, and then keeping that reserve account. That reserve account is really just as important, and trying to leave at least $5,000 in there or $10,000 in there. It makes a considerable difference if you have the ability to do that for 6 months, 12 months, or even longer. Now, of course, working with stocks, of course, I'm saying, hey, have an IRA plan for you, or a SEP IRA. That is where I'm going now. But, when we're talking about this loan, just make sure you at least have that operating account and that reserve account. It makes a difference.
So the reserve account, I like how you said that the reserve account can be the SEP IRA account. And, you could tell you're a financial person, right? So, because you brought that up, the SEP IRA also, for you entrepreneurs out there, is a tool, is a tax savings tool. So it can help you show that you have that cash reserve, but it also can lower your taxable income. And if you watch some of my older episodes at accountantthisway.com, I talk about that. So, all right. So, all right, I love this. I love this conversation. So basically what you're saying is we need to first, as entrepreneurs, make sure we have our at least two accounts, because a lot of the people are on this other methodology that I'm not a big subscriber to. But they open up all of these accounts, and I just feel like as entrepreneurs we have enough to manage, and let's focus on some key accounts. And I agree with you. You got your operating account. If you don't have anything else, you got your operating account. Grab that reserve account. The thing that you just gave me that's new and that I love is you can make that reserve account be a SEP IRA, and the bank can still see that you're a good steward of your money and you got money.
Exactly.
So if you get yourself in a bind, you can borrow from yourself, even if if they don't give you money, or you get into a bind to borrow from yourself from that reserve account. It's there. It exists. Right?
It's there.
My other account that I think you encouraged me to get, that you may not remember, but I had a deposit account. And this I recommend. Yeah, a lot of people are on QuickBooks, right? And so I recommend deposit accounts, especially for people who are on those softwares like that, where they swipe the credit card, and then the money goes to another account.
Yes.
Use a deposit account. That's one reason. Another reason is you don't need to, if you get a lot of wires, don't be giving people your operating account number. Give them the deposit account number. Plus, it makes it very easy to account for your income. So if you're ever audited, right, all your income for sales came into that account. So you know that you're never off. So what was your reasoning for the deposit account?
It was to help protect your accounts. We were having a lot of fraud that was happening during that time. And the reason why we had the deposit account is because you knew that once the money came in, that was the only account number you were giving out to your clients and your customers. And then you would ultimately just transfer that money into the operating or the reserve account, so that the money was not out there. So the balances were very, very, very low. In the event that someone was to take your account number, it wouldn't be a devastation to your whole entire operating system. It would just get a new deposit taking account. Yeah, that's the reason why we did it.
Yeah. So, okay, the main account to have is operating, deposit, and reserve account. All right. So you hustling entrepreneurs out here, y'all so busy. Y'all don't have time to do your accounting system. I recommend having these main accounts. and also having a business credit card. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's very easy to get a business credit card, but we're not going to get into that because sometimes business owners say my credit's not that good. Are there situations they could be with a big bank like you were, and they got money in the bank, and the bank still said no because they weren't their type of customer?
Yeah, I mean, that happens frequently. The one thing that, you talk about and I do support is making sure you're choosing the right bank. There are banks out there that do business secured credit cards, and sometimes you got to just start there. And once after you do the business secured credit card for about 6 months to a year, then sometimes they automatically switch you over to an unsecured account, or sometimes they'll say, you have to go through the process. But once they see that type of established account already on the system, it's much easier to qualify for unsecured account instead of just walking into a bank that you have no relationship with, no credit relationship with, and saying, hey, I need this credit. I need this, $10,000 business credit card. And you haven't even had a $500 secured business credit card with them. So it is important to do that.
Got it. So, the moral of this story is, and what I say is, make sure that you work with a bank that loves you back. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a client that actually was a good client, I felt, of the bank. He had a little bit of blemished credit. And the bank told him no, right? And he had a bankruptcy. He didn't have his tax returns. He just walked in just out of shape. He didn't have any financials because we set up his financials. He wasn't paying himself, and he was behind on his bookkeeping because he had no bookkeeping. And so he was just not a candidate, first of all, for you at the time.
Right.
The banker.
Right.
But I remember you telling me this because he was in the tattoo industry. I remember you telling me that the industry that he was in was just not a sweet spot for the big bank.
Right. Right.
And so we ended up putting him with a micro lender, and we put the package together. And even he had like a bankruptcy within that time period, and they said that's okay.
Right.
Their lending requirements were just a little bit different because they work with entrepreneurs who may have some blemished credit. So they may look at other criteria that the big bank don't look at.
Right. Big banks, one, knowing your bank, your team, regardless of what hustling type of industry that you're in, have your team, have your banker, have your accountant, CPA, have your business attorney. That's important because they can work together to make things work out for you. When we're talking about, the right industry, banks really look at your NAICS code, which is the NAICS code. Some of them are considered high risk. Some of them are considered low risk. It's always important to make sure that when you're looking into the industry that you're going to go into, trying to find an industry that you feel that might be considered a low risk, service-based industries for these banks. If you know that you're going to want to look for a loan later on, that makes a significant difference on your ability to get approved without even looking at credit. Credit is definitely a factor, but the industry, that's just as important as your credit score.
So what I hear you saying is that that was one of the things that like entrepreneurs get tied up or tapped into. Oh, my credit's not that great. Right? You can work on your credit. There's things that you could do to work on your credit, but you got to show the bank you have the ability to pay them back. Okay. That is number one. So, and the way you do that is you show up with the right paperwork. You show up with, knowing what you qualify for. You don't walk into the bank and say, I put $100,000 through your bank and you should loan me $100,000, right? That just makes no sense to them. They're like, we're a bank.
Right.
That's what we do. I mean, we hold your money so you can spend it. So how does that benefit us? We held your money and you spent it. We did our job,
Right.
right?
Right.
But when you walk in and you say, hey, you know what? I need a $50,000 loan. Here are my financials. Here are my tax returns if you need them. And this is what I'm going to be using the money for. And this is how I intend to pay you back. Right? You walk in with the confidence knowing that you're going to get the loan. You're not going to be asking for money that you don't that you're not sure you're going to get. And that leads me into my biggest point is you got to pre-underwrite your loan. You don't just walk into the bank and say, I want this, right? Your accountant can help you figure that out. And I'm not just saying not any accountant. Okay. What I'm saying is you need an expert entrepreneur accountant. Okay.
Right. You need someone who specializes in small business taxes. You definitely need that. The bank is not going to give you a loan based on your vision or your dream. The bank will give you a loan based on what you present to them. How's your package look? The cleaner your package look, the easier it is to qualify for the loan. The more messed up, jacked up your documents look, the more likely that you're not going to qualify. Even if you do qualify, you're more likely not going to get the loan.
Now say that again. The more jacked up what is, say it again.
The more jacked up your documents are, you're more likely not to get the loan, even if you really qualify. When you show up with your clean documents, where you know that you've had a CPA review these documents, because
not any CPA,
an entrepreneur CPA, eXFinancial, no CPA, they really make a big difference. When Spiceda puts out documentations, like the underwriters, she is a mini underwriter, and I don't even know if they know that or not, but they really kind of are, because they're looking at the same exact numbers. They're going to put you in a position to put your best foot forward to be able to present that to the underwriters. The banker, of course, is the face front of the bank, but really that information, those numbers are really going to go to the back office people, and they're going to want to see a clean documents that really make sense.
Yes. So look, all right. So I'm not going to hold you guys. We've been here for 30 minutes. So that's what we're here for, to make sure that you guys have the information that you need so that you can come to us. I have our URL right here below us, and it's accountantthisway.com. Okay. If you need help with getting fined for the bank, getting your paperwork together for the bank, catching up your accounting, cleaning up your books, catching up your taxes, getting someone to even just look at your taxes, you can sign up at my website for an expert entrepreneur advisory accounting session with me. Okay. It's not free, but it's a quick session. I pay for myself. Just go to the website and go to our services site and you'll see. Okay. Accountant This Way is going to take you to eXFinancial, CPA.com. Over up in the corner above Lakeisha, that is the name of our firm. Oh, you can see it right here behind me. We make complex simple. Okay. We make buying a home simple. As an entrepreneur, we make borrowing from the bank simple as an entrepreneur, and I want to help you guys get the loan. Okay. I have a free guide on my website. Okay. And it's our entrepreneur home buying guide to getting the bank to finance you to buy your dream home. You guys know this has been my series for a minute now. Go to accountantthisway.com, get caught up on those replays, share it with your entrepreneur friends and your business besties, replay this blog, and get started on building wealth so you can work with my friend Lakeisha. She over there. So you can work with my friend Lakeisha over here, who works with wealth people, helping them build their assets. Okay. I want to say this. Can you give me a wealthy habit as we wrap up, Lakeisha? Because that is, that is what I'm preaching. That is what I stand on. I want you guys, the profit that you make and the money that, not just the profit, the money that you make in your business to be seed and not bread, because we expect seed to grow. Okay. So,
Well,
Lakeisha, give us a wealthy habit.
spend less than you make. That would be my number one. And really look at the market, because that is where wealth is being built. It is in the stock market. Look at some YouTube videos. Just become a little bit more familiar with the stock market, because that is where real wealth is being made.
Okay.
Invest in what you know.
Real wealth. So listen, that's exactly what I've been saying, Lakeisha, though. Real wealth is made in business. And so the stock market is you investing in other businesses. You become
Mhm.
a business owner by owning a piece of the stock of a business. Think of your favorite business. It could be Amazon, it could be whatever. But I mean, for me, my favorite business is eXFinancial. But you own stock in your business as an entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs own 100% of the stock of their business, right? That
Mhm.
means you're concentrating all your money there. So if things aren't flowing there, or if your seeds are planted there, you could actually be pulling out of the harvest of your stock portfolio. That's what you should be doing at your SEP IRA, so that you can grow that and you can get your wealth to keep producing. That's why I called you guys wealth producers. Okay. Do you have any closing comments for us? How,
Um,
like, is there any closing comments? You can tell them how to find you if you got a fun IG. But what you guys know is, for what Lakeisha does now, she does not, like, the high quality of asset manager that she is. She doesn't come out and do the stuff like how I do. She's doing it to me as a friend
right.
and as a former banker. So she's not
Mhm.
in the capacity as a wealth planner, etc., because there's certain things that are really the secrets of the wealthy, right? And
Right.
you gotta, like, have a session with her to do it. So what do you want to what do you want to leave them with?
Well, I would just say know your numbers, get your team of people, get your banker, get your accountant. Definitely make sure that they're CPA. Get a business attorney. That's going to come in handy. Know your numbers when you walk into a bank. Make sure you're presenting with clean documents, not just, a vision, clean taxes. That makes all the difference. Um, because the bank doesn't invest in your dream. The bank gives you the money and you invest in your dream. Just always remember that.
Correct. Correct. All right. Thank you, Lakeisha, for having us. And thank you for being here with us.
No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Hey guys, my name is Spiceda Jackson. I am the CPA, founder, and expert entrepreneur, accounting advisor at eXFinancial Inc., where we execute and provide CEOs and CFOs the tools to know, grow, and go from their business to a better life. We call all entrepreneurs who need an accountant to follow us and find us at www.accountantthisway.com. Now, we specialize in entrepreneur tax planning, tax preparation, and tax solutions, including business finances and financial matters, helping you prepare and maintain your business finance and financial matters is our number one service. That's why I show up here every week and every day just for y'all. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do is, don't forget to download our free guide. Okay, follow me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and IG, Spiceda Jackson across the board. Spiceda Jackson across the board. Subscribe on YouTube so you can know when I go live. I sometimes go live here at a different time than I show up in my my Facebook group, which is Business Convos and Coffee. But you can join my Facebook group, Business Convos and Coffee, and catch me weekly, or catch my weekly fresh episodes every Friday, and I say at 9 a.m. ish. We are so grateful for our special guest, Lakeisha Johnson, coming to hang out with me. I know it's early, it's late, I have my guests come at different hours. So by the time you guys see this, y'all don't know what time we recorded. But it has been a beautiful experience. Thank you, Lakeisha, for coming and blessing them with the information that they need to grow their wealth and move their profit in the right direction. And I say that that's up. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Next week.